Welcome to this podcast. There may be swearing, cursing, crying, anger, and graphic material. Thank you.
From day one, you fought for your life, and you blew everyone away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jesse,
I'm Alisha.
and we're changing the chances.
And we're back.
And we want to start this episode by sending a huge shout out to everybody that is listening, following, that has commented on, it's your Instagram page, babe?
Instagram. Yes, I do have an Instagram, Changing the Chances.
And
So feel free.
Facebook as well.
I do have a Facebook. I'm not going to lie. I don't really understand the Facebook. But it's there, and it's facebook.com/changing the chances.
If anybody has any questions that they might want to check out a Facebook or an Instagram, and
Oh yeah, either way, you can send a message.
yeah,
I will respond to you. That is my job, apparently.
we will do our best to address subjects that, anybody has questions or anything that they would like us to cover. We're more than happy, more than willing. Because essentially that's what this is for. It's to help us vent
And to help you.
and essentially to help
In whatever way that may be.
in any way possible. 'Cause the way we see it, if we can help one family, one person, one parent, anybody, it's well worth it.
Agreed.
Because this is very difficult. This life, this journey, these roads, they're hard. They're very hard.
They definitely
So,
can be.
Any kind of support we would appreciate. Tell your friends, it might trickle down the line and get to somebody
Hey, I've
that
had
needs it.
several messages from friends who have recommended it to other people, which is fantastic. And I will take it, and thank you, and I love it.
Shout out to our family. We've got some family that lives in Australia. We have made it. Our editor producer has informed us that we have made it across the pond, so to speak. So thanks for that.
In all fairness, he did not inform me that.
Oh,
I knew that.
Oh, you knew. Okay, so my bad. I'm
But
sorry.
it's cool. It's cool. Either way,
Either way,
we have made it.
We appreciate the support. We love you guys. We really do, everybody.
It's fantastic.
That being said, let's get to it, babe.
Sounds like a plan.
No. We don't do plans. You remember how that went? I
They're-
tried to do a plan. I had all this stuff planned out, and guess what?
Okay.
We're doing a podcast.
They're tentative plans.
Okay.
I'm not willy-nilly throwing everything into the wind, but you got to make some kind of plan and just realize that it might not work out the way you want it to, but at least I had a plan.
We did have a plan, and it got stuck in a blender, along with probably a large amount of shit.
Wow.
And then
That's a blender noise? Okay. That's cool.
I'm trying here.
Hey,
Work
guess what?
with
I
me.
can't do any better.
Piper loves my noises, okay? Piper,
Not today.
Piper, give Daddy some love over here, please. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's got hiccups, so that's
Oh my
adorable.
goodness.
It's the second time today.
Oh, she does have the hiccups so bad.
Dang girl. Anyways, moving on to all the fun things in NICU land. That's what I'm calling it, because that's where we're living in our life at this point in time. Not currently, in the story. Nobody get confused. Sorry.
Episode 5, Chapter 5, however you want to look at it.
Still in NICU world. So fun stuff. My dad, I wrote this down. This is how important this is. My dad actually came to visit all by himself. Just showed up at the hospital to come see Piper, which is adorable.
If anybody knows the old man, they know how adorable this is, because
It just is.
It just is.
Also good news, at the time, Piper was doing better And even though she was still in the isolette, we could open it up so the top would raise up so you could touch her little hands and you could talk to her better, which is exactly what he was doing. He actually touched her little hand and talked to her, which I'm not sure that he's ever, well, he always talked, but he has a few phrases he normally says. He did not say any of these. And he did not say any of these phrases this time. He actually talked to her, which was super cute.
It was adorable.
So it's about the middle of...
I'm trying to think
what's June? July. It's the middle of July. Okay. Wow. I definitely know my months, people. Totally. Hey, it's the middle of...
We've got an excuse. Remember? Plans, shit, blender.
So it is the middle of July. She actually... Sorry, there is something in my throat. She actually gets to come out of the isolette. She's doing so great, they put her in a crib. Woohoo!
I remember that.
Big milestone. Super fantastic.
You remember how we used to have to put the blankets around the crib to help make her feel, because she was...
Well, it wasn't until we got home, though.
Yeah. Well... Yeah.
We had a blanket on the isolette to keep things dark in the beginning.
Oh, I remember that.
Okay.
I thought we were... No?
Nope.
Okay.
It wasn't until we got home. But she's in a crib, which is super adorable, because that's kind of how you want to see your baby. In a crib. She's off oxygen altogether. See? Making leaps, bounds. Things seem like they're going great. It's wonderful. She's an adorable human being. So now that she's off oxygen, in a crib, it's way easier to hold her. There's not really any stipulations for this anymore.
She's just hooked up to, 500 wires and all the medical equipment and stuff still. But,
well, yeah, it's way less than what she started with, though.
Yeah.
And
we could interact with her. Her skin had formed. It wasn't so... fragile and translucent to where we could see through her like a ghost fish. And she was still about the size of a $1 bill.
Well, she's almost 3 pounds at this point.
Yeah, but she still wasn't she wasn't very big. I mean, her whole hand.
3 pounds isn't very big.
Her whole hand couldn't even cover my thumb. Like, her whole hand. I remember her the first time she touched my hand. Her whole hand didn't even cover my thumb. Well, the top of my thumb. Like, it barely covered my thumbnail.
Again, 3 pounds. She's still not very big. 3 pounds is amazing, though. It's almost like double her weight, so...
Yeah, well, when you're born and you're only 1 pound, 2 ounces.
I know. So that's fantastic. So, grandparents start holding her. My mom got to hold her, and that's pure joy. And Jesse's mom was coming up and getting to hold her.
There's a little story with that.
And I did tell him this is his story to tell, and he can share whatever he wants to. I was going to stay out of this.
So I didn't want anybody touching Piper. I didn't want anybody holding Piper or messing with her that didn't need to. She was still extremely fragile, and under constant observation. And yeah, is that so funny, kiddo? Is that just so funny? And I had already made it pretty clear to family members, grandparents included, that nobody was going to be holding her. Everybody was excited that Alisha and I were helping change her little diapers, which were still so huge for her, and like cleaning her and touching her and holding her. But yeah, I'd even told the nurses, like, I don't want anybody at all. And I guess there was just some kind of mix up in communication of some sort, and my mom showed up. And I think... Okay,
let me clarify that at this hospital, grandparents can visit without parents being there. That's how it was built into the system at the time, that parents and grandparents could visit without the parents being there.
With parents clearing it, grandparents could go in without parents being there. And my mom was on the list. I wasn't not going to let my mom go in and see her, but I don't remember how exactly it happened, but my mom ended up holding her when I didn't want anyone other than Alisha and myself holding her. And Mom, I love you, but it's true. This happened. And I walked into the hospital room, And my mom's holding Piper, and the first thing I can think of is gently walking over and picking up my child and putting her in her isolette and just...
Crib. She's in a crib at this point.
Whatever. She's in her crib. Yes, she's in her crib. Put her back gently in her crib and escorting my mom out of the room so that I could just like lay into her because, you know, that how could you do what I told you not to do? And my mom told me, she's like, the nurse said I could. The nurse said I could. Like, she already knew. She could see it written all over my face that I was like ready to just kill.
This is Jesse. It is written all over his face. He does not hide those feelings at all, by the way. So yes, his mom did see it written all over his face.
I'd probably describe it as like, you know, when you walk up and you see an angry dog and you just know this dog, you don't want to try and pet this dog. This dog's not going to be your friend. He's going to bite you. He's probably going to kill you. That's probably the look I had on my face. So my mom puts her down and we went and talked, and she's like, I'm so sorry. No, like she told me I could. And it's like, okay, that's whatever. Fine. It's not happening again. And then she started doing better, and then people were able to hold her and stuff. And it was good for her to have that connection and to be by grandma and Nana and Papa. And, you know, like I was just being the overprotective guardian. Don't touch my kid. I'll murder you, Dad. I don't know. For so long, it felt like I was stuck on the sidelines. And now that I kind of had a say in what was going to happen as far as helping her or making sure, you know, that she could be protected. And I could say that, and it made me feel better. But because it sucks knowing that your kid's entire existence is dependent on other people because her care is out of your control.
Yeah, for the majority of the time, yeah.
You know, like it's...
She wasn't living with us. She wasn't sleeping in the same house as us. She was completely somewhere else, with somebody else.
For 6 months.
Yep.
She spent 6 months in the hospital. And
to the day.
Yep, 6 months to the day. And it was one of those things, I think, that I felt like I had control of it and that I could protect her and with my voice.
For sure.
Know, with what I was saying. And... then to see my mom holding her, and it was like, I can't even do that. Like, I was ready to kill. Like, are you serious? But
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I feel you.
It worked out. It was okay. Again, Mom, I love you.
Thinking back, when we talk about she came home literally 6 months to the day, home from the hospital finally, I always look back and I'm like, I'm really sorry, Maxwell, because I'm pretty sure I forgot your birthday that year because, you know, it's on the 24th, and she came home on the 25th. So, sorry about that.
Wasn't meant to be a thing.
My life was chaotic. I don't even think I told my work until literally the last day and was like, by the way, I'm not coming back because my child's coming home. Bye. Because the last week before we came home, because they sprung it on us. I'm not going to get too deep into this because we're going to come up on it, but they sprung it on us. So there's like 5 million things you have to do before you leave the hospital when your child is in the NICU.
So was it like the day before?
So it was like 3 days before she came home. So yes, there was a lot to do in 3 days, but I won't get into that now. Sorry, got sidetracked. Moving on, or moving backwards. Hey.
Back to the Future?
Gotta
go back in time.
So people are getting to hold her, all the things. We're feeding her with a bottle now. Super exciting.
Yeah.
That is a huge deal for her because
that means she can, what is it? Suck, swallow.
It's suck, swallow, breathe. Yes.
Yeah, suck, swallow, breathe.
But the biggest thing about that is lots of babies who are born early and they're on ventilators for a long time have an oral aversion, which means they don't like things in their mouth, so they don't tend to eat food by mouth because I'm going to say it reminds them of terrible things.
I mean, you got a tube shoved down your throat. I can only imagine how unappealing having something else shoved in your mouth. Like, it's not pleasant to have.
Yeah. So they were super concerned about oral aversions, but she did fantastic. I mean, for the first little while, we had to hold her a very specific way to feed her a bottle to make sure she wasn't going to choke or aspirate. Yeah. Which was totally fine. It was doable. No big deal, but that was super exciting.
And she did. She really, once she started going, she didn't look back. Like, it was like, okay, feed me, Seymour. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, she did great.
She did. She did really good once she figured it out and got it down and, like, this is good.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was super exciting and awesome. At this point, she has now been in the NICU for 100 days. Sounds like a really long time.
Just over 3 months. Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, she had to get put back on oxygen. Yeah.
Which, we weren't heading home anytime in the near future, so it's fine.
And with still being as young as she was, like, she was still having some ups and downs. Like, she wasn't necessarily completely out of the woods.
Oh, yeah, no. She still had a lot ahead of her.
Yeah. I mean, the journey had literally just begun. So being back on oxygen, and it was just high flow cannula, wasn't it?
I think it was just normal oxygen.
Or was it just normal oxygen? Okay. Gosh, it's so hard to remember after 7 years. But
right. All the things start to blend together. Who knows?
But she was still having an upward swing. She was still going in the right direction.
I know.
Which was really good. We were getting excited.
Live in the positive.
Yeah.
Because it always turns. She is 4 pounds. And then we're talking within a week, she was 5 pounds.
You have to be 5 pounds to come home.
You do. So, woohoo, we reached one goal.
Like, that was one of the things they told us. Like, it doesn't matter how well she's doing. She's not going home until she can hit 5 pounds and maintain it.
So we were at 5 pounds finally. This is in August, by the way. So the formula she got put on definitely played a great part.
Yeah,
and helped her put on weight.
She was
like,
good
it's
calories.
what she needed.
Yep, it's exactly what she needed after her bowel surgery and stuff and getting put back together. And
she's not back together yet.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, she still has her stoma. Gosh, man, what am I thinking?
I
don't know either. It's been a long day.
Yeah, you did work today. We are recording on a weird day of the week. Schedules, all the things. You just fit it in when you can. So, at this point, it is the middle of August. We are really starting to watch brain bleeds, which we talked about earlier.
When she was born with 2 grade 4 brain bleeds, 1 on each side of her hemisphere.
Well, technically 1 was a 3 and 1 was a 4, and as time went on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
But
My mistake.
Yes.
But eventually they are both grade 4 brain bleeds.
Left side, right side. Yeah. So, I mean, that's not ideal, but you know what? It's fine. We're in an upswing. We're just hanging out watching.
Essentially, and the best way to describe it for people that don't understand brain bleeds and maybe their child doesn't have any kind of neurological issues, 2 grade 4 brain bleeds is essentially like having 2 massive strokes.
Well, and they grade them from a 1 to a 4, and 4 is the highest.
So it's like having 2 massive strokes.
So there's 2 big black spots on her MRI in her brain where it's just damaged her brain.
Essentially, it's like empty pockets where blood filled. And after time, her body absorbed the blood and it did what it did, but the damage was already done.
Yep, damage done, pockets are there. So, unfortunately, that's what it is. So we're watching those, but we're also watching them because what's happening is your brain makes fluid. Or your spine makes,
Your brain makes spinal fluid.
Your brain makes spinal fluid.
Yeah, cerebral spinal fluid.
So normally, your body absorbs it. It travels down your spine.
Yeah, travels
and your
down
body
your spine.
Absorbs it.
This
happens every day. It happens to everybody. It's
listening to this podcast right now. Your body is draining spinal fluid from your brain down into your spine and
or is it cerebral fluid?
It's cerebral fluid, and like when they do a spinal tap, that's the fluid that they're getting. So Piper's body does not do this.
No.
Her brain produces cerebral fluid that has nowhere to go.
Nope.
It is filling up her brain cavity like a balloon
and causing pressure, which, as you can imagine, is not great for your brain.
Anybody that has had a migraine 2, 3, 4, 5 days knows or can understand that feeling to a point. but
of pain.
Of pain.
Yeah.
Because luckily for Piper, she was still so young that her skull had not fused yet. So it being malleable, it was giving way and her head was just swelling up.
Yeah, so they were keeping an eye on that to see what was happening.
Yeah. And what the cause may be and try to form a solution.
So one of the solutions they do as a temporary measure to make sure, one, that she absolutely needs this long term before doing anything really permanent, is something called a reservoir. I can't even begin to explain to you what this looks like because it
looks like something out of like a 1950s science.
All I can say
lab.
is, from what I can remember, because I can't exactly remember what this one looks like, it just looks like a little bubble on the top with a straw down the bottom.
Pretty much.
Would be the easiest way to explain it. So what they do is they shove this into your brain. Ha! That sounds so crazy. Sorry. Anyways, but they literally do. The bubble sits on top of your skull, underneath your skin, and the straw goes down into your brain where this fluid is collecting because it has nowhere to go. So they call it a reservoir. So every day a doctor comes in
with a giant
syringe. It's not giant.
Oh my God.
I promise you it's not.
Well, it seemed giant because they were shoving it into my kid's skull.
They take a little needle, they stick it, obviously through your skin, into this bubble, and they pull the fluid out of your brain that way. And they had to do this every day.
They were doing it, yeah. Wasn't it in the morning and in the evening?
I think it was just once a day.
Wasn't it just once a day? I feel like there for a little bit because she was filling up really quick.
Oh, I don't.
And then...
Okay. If that's what I don't remember.
Okay.
I just know they did it once a day. Or they did it every day. I don't know if it was multiple times.
Because they were getting quite a bit.
I mean, I imagine.
Because, yeah, I mean, your body's producing it, and it's not like you can press pause or anything, so...
Yeah.
They were having to drain it.
Well, yeah.
Manually.
Every day.
Yep.
Maybe multiple times a day. Who knows? That I don't remember. But, yeah, that's not, like, super exciting news. At this point, for some reason, remember. Oh, what were we going to say?
They wanted to do a lumbar puncture also.
Yeah, this is what I was getting to. Because, as you remember, we're talking about things on an upswing. She was doing great. Piper took a left turn. Of course. In true Piper fashion, she took a left turn.
She said, "The hell with you all. I want to see what's out in left field." She
started getting a fever, and they didn't understand why. We were looking into another surgery, so they really needed to figure out what was going on. Because
they won't perform a surgery if you have an infection.
Well, of course, because that.
Yeah, because then you got.
Yeah, that's a whole world of scary.
You got to deal with the infection before any surgeon's going to touch you.
So they don't know what's going on, so they need to do a lumbar puncture, which is not exciting. If anybody knows what that is, that's a giant needle into your back to test the fluid.
To check the fluid that is supposed to be in your spine.
Yep. I don't know if they were checking because they had just put the reservoir in. They were wondering if it caused an infection.
Yeah, I think that's what they were wondering, is if the reservoir had caused an infection, and wanted to see, because that was the thing, is like Piper's body, like she gets spinal fluid, or she gets cerebral fluid into her spine. It's just nowhere near the amount to relieve pressure, and that's why she needed this, is because it just wasn't able to do what it was supposed to do effectively. So they did the lumbar puncture. It came back clean, no infection, but unfortunately what was ever making her sick, or what was going on with her, the next day I got a phone call about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning telling us that she had coded in the night or that morning. And she had stopped breathing, or was definitely not breathing. She wasn't breathing well. Enough that they pushed that little button and 500 people run into a room to figure out what's going on. What is happening. Of course, there are no answers. I think this was the first time that she had coded. Yeah. First and only. Birth. Yeah. First and only. Yep. So clearly I did not go to work because I was actually up getting ready for work. And just went and stayed at the hospital instead, because it's where you just need to be when that happens, I think. Yeah.
Uncle Jay is coming around and asking about her a lot at this point. He's starting to warm up. Not that he never asked about her, not that he never thought about her. But as things are trucking along, he's getting a little bit more comfortable, I think.
I think it was just hard for everybody to deal with all of it. I mean, it was...
Well, of course.
I think it was hard for everybody. Your family, my family, us. Like, it just, you know, that was Jay's... You're his sister, you know, like, it's his first niece on his side.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Oh, yeah, no.
Hard to see, I'm sure.
Of course. I did find out that she is the background picture on his phone, which is so dang adorable, considering, you know, he has 2 kids of his own, and his niece is his background picture on his phone, so I'm not gonna lie, I super loved that. And she's adorable, so what do you say about that? Ellie, my niece, she's constantly asking about her, because all she wants to do is visit her, but unless you're a sibling or like 11 years old, I don't even know, or 12.
Yeah, it was something weird.
You're not allowed to visit.
Was only like 7 at the time.
Yeah, so she wasn't old enough. I tried. I talked to everybody to try and get her in. We tried to make some
deals. We did. We're like, can she just come in for like just a minute?
And I talked to the social worker. She was super sweet. And I was like, is there just any way? And she's like, no, the rules are there for a reason. She goes, but if things go bad, and I go, well, listen, things go bad quickly. There sometimes isn't time to plan for somebody to come visit. Like, I've lived it.
Yeah, like we know things can take a turn for the worse very quickly.
That was not like compelling enough argument apparently though, so she never got to see her in the hospital. We tried our best though.
Yeah.
We tried our best.
She did get to see Caleb though.
She did.
She got to see Caleb.
Uncle Jay and Aunt B, my brother and his wife, did come up and visit.
Oh yeah. Yep, they did.
Mm-hmm. And of course Aunt B is fantastic, and she just will sit there and talk to Piper all day, and
oh man,
it's great.
Aunt B's always been so just awesome with her. Like, she's always talked to Piper like just a normal little human, not like a baby or anything. Like, she has just always talked to Piper like a little human. Yep. And I love it.
That's what she does.
B, you're the best.
So I was excited. Uncle Jay finally, I think this is really his first time. I think this is his first time like really seeing her in the hospital.
I think it might have been also because he would come, but he would always stay like on the outskirts of the room, or
he'd never like make it in the
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. From a safe distance where he couldn't really see anything.
He was there for the support, the moral support, but
yeah.
I just think he had a hard time seeing her. And gosh, man, it was definitely hard seeing her sometimes.
It was, definitely in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
so,
all bruised up and jaundice and just all the things. It was a lot.
It was crazy because I don't know if this is like a, like protecting my brain thing or like just a me thing or. So when they were first born, and Jesse got to see them before I did, he had told me when we were headed down to see them for the first time, he was like trying to prepare me. He was like, they look really sick, and he was like trying to prepare me for. I was trying to
let you know that they probably weren't going to look like what you maybe had in mind.
Well, you had showed me pictures.
I know, but the pictures.
I know, and that's what you told me. Like the pictures just didn't look like them. It wasn't the same, and it's crazy. So, like I said, I don't know if this is a me thing or like my brain protecting me thing. But when I first saw them, I didn't see sick babies. I mean, obviously they were. I just remember them being perfect.
Because they were our perfect. They were 100% perfect, and it just crushed me to see just all the bruises, and because they were so bruised up. I mean, you could see through their skin, but they had jaundice and just literally from the tops of their heads to their toes covered in bruises just from being pulled out on an emergency C-section. And the pressure change is what they believe caused the brain bleeds, just going from being inside of Alisha to out in the world so quickly is what caused a lot of bruising and possibly the brain damage, but they weren't 100% sure.
But I just remember that first day, like, I just didn't see them that way.
I know.
They were beautiful.
I remember you telling me that. Like, I remember you telling me, like, I don't see them, like, sick or anything. Like, they're
I mean, obviously, I did. I knew that they were sick, but
you saw them through a mother's eyes. They were our babies. The same way that I was looking at them through father's eyes. Like, they were our babies. And they were perfect. And she's perfect, even now. She's the best. 100% the best.
Well, given, and probably everybody can hear that she's like having
I know.
heyday today.
Did you just knock over your plate? Yeah, did you just knock it over?
Destroying her toy, which is a very big thing for her. It's fantastic.
Oh, she's having a heyday. She's loving it.
But as time went on, and I started to look back at pictures, because she's only looking better as time is going on. So looking back and seeing those pictures was all of a sudden like, oh, you were way more sick than I thought you were. And it was just crazy. I can't even explain that. Are you trying to fix her toy over there?
All right.
So anyways, moving on, because sorry.
I missed whatever it was you were just saying.
Oh, just that as time went on and she got better looking, and looking back at pictures, that I could see the difference all of a sudden and how bad it was, how it started to where she was.
And I do think that it was our own emotions and our brains just like going through motions, kind of. Because I remember just being either so angry or so numb that it just kind of all blurred together.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
I mean, no sleep.
Your brain's got to protect you some way, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, even now, looking back at some pictures, it's like, wow. Like, I have stored all these little memories in all these little boxes and shoved them in little corners in the back of the blackness that is my conscience, because it's what your body does. It's what your brain does, like, to survive and make it through. Because if you think about this stuff all the time, it's going to drive you crazy. And it was taking a toll on me big time.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was rough.
I'm already emotionally unstable and all those things. And after losing Caleb and then just being on this new roller coaster ride that was constantly just making my heart stop. Like, because it's totally true. My mom told me when I found out that Alisha was pregnant, my mom told me, she's like, you think you know what love is. You love Alisha and you do anything for her, but you have no idea what real love is until these babies. She's like, wait till the first time you set eyes on these babies. Like, your world's gonna change. And first ultrasound, it was true, 100% true. And it just, every day that we saw her and got to be with her, it was more and more and more.
It only grows.
It only grows, 100%. Because it's like, I would straight walk through hell and take on the devil himself for Piper. Like, I would make a deal with the devil flat out. Like,
I believe that.
Where do I sign? Like, straight up, in blood, whatever you want. Like, I will gladly hand over anything that is left of my soul for, I mean, even if she could talk, just to talk. Like, I don't even want to make her, all better or whatever, just let her be able to talk to us and communicate. Like, hey, my stomach hurts. That would make things so much easier. But I would, in a heartbeat, hands down. Like, I would make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of love.
It is. The hands, I mean, and not that I wouldn't do it for you.
No, I got you. I got you.
Like, I know you know. But yeah.
I feel that.
Like, I'm a fan of the show Supernatural, and you make deals with crossroad demons and you sell your soul and you get X amount of time, and then those hellhounds come a knocking and they want to collect, and I would make that deal in a heartbeat, knowing that where I'd be going I would do it in a heartbeat and not even bat an eye. And I feel like most parents would. You know, like that's your kid.
Yeah, for sure. So as we have mentioned before, doctors go on rotation.
Oh.
And they rotate through the hospital we started at to the kids' hospital. They do that. So our favorite doctor of all,
Doom and gloom.
she was back. You could imagine my surprise seeing her name as Piper's doctor. I almost had a heart attack. Like, say what? Actually, it was super exciting because at this point, Piper is doing fantastic. You know, she's like 5 pounds and she's eating and she's fan-freaking-tastic and kicking ass and taking names because that is what she does. This doctor walks up and she remembers Piper. Remembers us.
Remembers the name. You know, Chance, Piper. She remembered Alisha. She remembered me. Well, I did tell her I'd throw her through a window, so.
That's pretty unforgettable. That's pretty unforgettable. And she just looked at us and was like, I can't believe this is the same child that I saw 5 months ago. I said, right?
The one you wanted me to pull the plug on?
Like, this baby is just rocking it.
She's
and
a fighter. She always has been.
You wanted us to say goodbye to her. Like, it just was like sweet.
It was almost like
sweet justice.
It was almost like me being able to throw her out of the window. Like Piper did that for me. Hey,
metaphorically,
lady.
throwing her out the window.
Like, guess what, bitch? I did this. I'm doing this.
What now?
Yep. What now?
So that actually was fantastic. And we only had her for 1 day, so it wasn't a big deal. We didn't have to put up with her.
Which you can request.
Doctors are harder, though.
Yes, doctors are harder, but you can request. Nurses, anytime. You don't jive with a nurse or their bedside manner sucks, whatever, like, you straight up request a new nurse and they have to give you a new nurse. Like, it's hands down, not even a question. Doctors, yes, it's a bit harder, but it can be done.
Mm-hmm, for sure. But we only had her for 1 day, so it was fine.
Lucky for her, because I probably would have ended up throwing her through a window. So we're just about done with this episode.
Just a couple of things that we're gonna. So they did the surgery, put the reservoir in, which was really creepy when you're not used to it because it does create a little bump on the top of her head. Because, like I said, there's like a bubble.
It's a bubble. It looked like a bubble under her skin.
Under your skin. So if you don't know what it is, it can creep you out.
Because you can kind of like push on it.
You can feel it.
It's like squishy.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie, I tried it. I checked it out.
Gosh.
It's on my kid.
So this was at the end of close to the end of August that they put that in. Then at the beginning of September, she had surgery again. And it's called takedown surgery, but what it is they were reconnecting her intestines back together.
I think they call it takedown because they're taking the stoma and putting it back down inside your stomach to connect to the other part.
Okay. I mean, that's
how I figured it.
I like your reasoning. I think that sounds totally realistic and awesome. So they did her takedown surgery. She's 131 days old currently. Makes her sound so old. And after that, she's all puffy and swollen again. And it was a wicked looking recovery for that because
she swelled up pretty good on that.
Well, you have to re-slice her open, from side to side, and yuck. And then they put drains in to help drain all the, and I've never seen that before, and
yeah,
yuck. Yeah. But it was also so sad, like, because she's just.
Is that when she looked like George from Seinfeld? When she got all puffy? Because then, because she had hair.
I don't know.
She had a lot of hair, and then all of a sudden, like, she lost it on top. And
yeah, and it just had, like, the side.
Yeah, she looked like George from Seinfeld.
Gosh. I don't remember if that's what it was. I just remember it being sad. Because, once they put you out, she had to go back on a vent, so she had a tube down her throat. Yeah. And I
remember because when she woke up, she was trying to cry.
Yep, that's what I was just going to say. And it was the saddest thing I've ever seen.
You could just see this crying all over her face, but no sound, and just...
Oh my gosh. Breaks my heart. It is so sad to see.
I feel like she came off the vent pretty quick, though. On that round.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I mean, she was getting really good, so
she was crying, trying to cry with a tube down her throat.
I know. Just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was. It was heart-wrenching for sure.
So we were bringing things in for her at the hospital to there's not much she can do. She's a baby, first of all, and there's just not much she can do. Yes, we had a book from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because we had bought her Peter Pan.
Yep. We were reading to her, and it seemed to calm her down to hear us.
Mm-hmm. And to this day, she likes reading.
She loves being read to.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit down and grab a book and cuddle with her, and
yep,
she loves it.
She does. But somebody had mentioned to us we could load music onto an iPod and bring in a little speaker, and they could play music to her. Mm-hmm. So we did that.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, we did not download like classical music. This is not what we did. We downloaded our music.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was mostly appropriate music.
I mean, it wasn't, I don't feel like she wasn't listening to death metal or anything, but I mean, she was listening to rock and roll and country and hip hop.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and even to this day, she listens to it all. Like her and I can sit outside in the swing during summer, and I can throw reggae on Spotify, and she chills, man. Like she digs it. She's a Disney. She loves Disney. Like she gets excited over Disney music.
Loves some Disney.
But she'll jam to country. She'll jam to rock. She'll jam to reggae. She don't care.
All the stuff we listen to.
She likes tunes.
I just thought it was funny because her nurse was like, "This is the music you picked for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's great music."
I'm like, "What are you talking about? That's Metallica, Enter Sandman." Like, how do you not appreciate that?
We did not have Metallica on there.
No,
we did not have. But yes, we did have our music than there was Disney on there though.
No, yeah, she had a wide variety. I mean, rock,
but there were
Disney.
Lots of kids with music, and I tell you what, it was probably all classical, and that's just not us. That's just not what we did.
She didn't start listening to like Mozart and stuff like that until she got home.
True. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, it was, you know what? Enjoy life, kiddo. Listen to some rock and roll. Yeah.
Good times. We did start noticing around this point she was recognizing voices, which is so exciting.
Yep. When she would hear Alisha, she had started to try and like turn her head to look in your direction. Like, I was jealous because you guys already had the bond from being pregnant, and then you got Mother's Day skin to skin, and I had to wait a whole another month or something like that.
You got Father's Day skin to skin though.
I did, but
you're right. It was later.
It was later. But
and I was there every day.
Been there. Yeah, like she's always, even when you go to work and you come home. As soon as she hears you coming up the stairs, you're not even talking to anybody. She can hear you come inside. And she gets excited because she knows.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I hate that because I don't. I love that. I love when she gets excited that I've been gone and I've come back. I want her to miss me.
I got that today. When I got home from work, she seemed to be very excited to see me.
Yeah. For sure.
Because some days she'd give two shits. Like, get away from me, old man. I don't give a shit about you.
That is the thing about Piper. She definitely just does what she wants. And she's like, listen, does that hurt your feelings? Don't care.
Always. She's been opinionated since day one.
I mean, and I'm
just like her mama.
Very proud of that. I'm very proud of that.
Well, of course.
I want her to be her own human being.
Well, 100%.
Like, listen, this is who I am. You don't like it? Walk away. Don't even care.
Walk on home, son. Walk on home.
Oh my gosh, she's so dang cute.
And then she also had her first real poop, right?
Okay, I know that nobody really wants to know this, but this is so exciting because, again, her intestines were apart.
Yeah.
And then they were put back together. So it's really exciting because it means everything is working.
Parents and nurses and doctors, I think, are like legitly the only people that are excited about poop.
Yeah, it's true.
Because then it's like, we've got to poop. She pooped. We've got to poop.
And there's Jesse redlining over there. Anyways, sorry. It's fine. It's exciting. But for us, yes, it was very exciting because she had just gotten connected back together. And if she doesn't have a bowel movement, they have to worry that there's some constriction from where they connected her back together. But since we did the whole refeeding and everything seemed to grow at the same pace, there wasn't any complications.
They were refeeding the bowel that was coming out in through the stoma into the bottom half so that it would grow together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it did well.
It did very well.
So we didn't have any complications.
No, they said that the color of her stoma always looked good.
Right. Well, that's not true. right after surgery. Remember, it looked kind of black.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like,
worried that they didn't get all the neck.
And they were concerned. But it turned pink and it was fine.
Yeah, it did. They were really worried there for like a couple days, and then it turned pink and they were fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's good.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, she got connected back together, had her first real poop. As exciting as that sounds for you guys, it was thrilling for us.
Right.
So exciting. It was like throwing a party for that.
Right. Let's have a luau. Our kid had a shit.
And unfortunately, nothing has changed 7 years in for us.
Oh, no. Because
it's always exciting.
Unfortunately, with Piper having short gut, that's what this condition is called, is short gut.
Mm-hmm.
She has bowel problems. Sometimes she is free flowing and clears out households of people. Like you would just wonder, like, where is all this poop coming from? And sometimes she goes 5 days, 6 days without having a bowel movement, and she's absolutely miserable.
So the thing, though, the upside, I mean, I'm going to call it.
Is there an upside of not taking a shit for 5 days?
Yeah, I'm going to call it an upside. Do you want to know why? Because they were super concerned that with how much bowel she lost, that she actually wouldn't retain any nutrition, and all of her food would just go in and out,
This
in and
is
out,
true.
in and out.
That is
which
true.
would have caused like failure to thrive, and she wouldn't have been growing, and obviously that's not good. That is terrible. They were super concerned that's the direction she was going to go in.
And she didn't.
Fortunately
which was great
for us, is she went completely the opposite direction. Sometimes she needs a little help getting it out. I know this is way too much information, but it's important.
Do we need to do another explicit content? I mean, because I'm pretty sure.
Hey, they are at the beginning of every episode. If you ain't listening to that warning, that's your problem.
Okay,
I cannot control that.
I'm just saying. I mean, talking about poop and.
I know.
all
It's
the
just so much
things.
information. People are like, I don't really want to hear about that. But I promise, it plays a total important part for
I'll tell
her
you what,
life.
a lot
For
of
her life.
There are a lot of kids that have special needs that have dietary issues.
Oh, yeah.
100%. You know, like they were born with a giant hole in their stomach, or, you know, just all kinds of things. They have such a super sensitive stomach and stuff, and
I know. It's a thing.
It's rough.
It's a thing.
So
ours is just
maybe
ongoing.
Us having a poop conversation might help somebody.
I don't mind having the conversation.
Poop.
Everybody poops. Do you need the book? They make it. It's real. I'm just saying.
Everybody does poop, despite what my mom had me believe.
Oh, God.
My mom had me believe.
True story. His mom, for some reason,
I don't know why,
was
but my
teaching
mom had
her
me thoroughly
children.
convinced that girls did not fart or poop. I think I was like 8, 7 when I finally discovered. I think my mom actually farted once or something.
I bet she's super excited you're sharing the story.
I love it. It's the best. It's payback.
Oh my gosh.
I love you, Mom.
Wow. Anyways, I think this is a great place to stop this before we piss anybody else off.
What are you talking about? I'm an asshole.
It's fine. She'll be coming after you, not me, because I'm a
Anybody
sweetheart.
that knows me knows.
Remember, I'm a sweetheart. So
I know. It's never my fault. It's never your fault. It's always my fault. Anytime I tell my mom, Alisha and I had an argument or something, what the hell did you do?
Which we don't argue very often. So.
No, but
Again, because I am so easygoing and mellow.
Oh, whatever. How often do I really give a shit about anything? I usually just
Does
let it
this
roll.
sound like a healthy marriage? Because now I'm concerned. I'm too easygoing and you don't give a shit. Great. Sounds wonderful. Oh my
Hey,
God.
guess what? We take care of our kid. That's all that matters.
And we do love each other. This is a loving household.
Yep. What? It is.
It's like I held up a cue card. Say yes, else I'll kill you. Anyways.
I just figured, the knife you had held in your hand.
Oh my God.
It made it clear that if I didn't cooperate, I'd be cut.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you can tell I had a drink tonight.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, we are ending it here. Thank you again for anybody who
Love
has
everybody.
made it this far into the journey. It's
we'll
awesome.
See or hear you and talk to you on the next episode.
Well,
Same bat channel, maybe a different bat time.
No, it all gets released the same day now.
It's all on the same
Mondays.
day now, right? Mondays.
We release new episodes on Mondays. I post pictures to go with each episode. It is on Facebook, facebook.com/Changing the Chances, and on my Instagram, Changing the Chances. So if you're not my friend, want to be my friend, want to send me a message, there I am. Find me. It's cool.
And let your friends know we're on Spotify and
Google Podcasts. And Apple. Feel free.
Check them out.
Spread the word.
Love you guys.
Do the things.
Bye.
Bye.